Now, setting goals. Let me show you something that turned me every way but loose. I've never been the same since I found out about it. Learning how to set goals. Not long after I met Mr. Shoaf, we're having breakfast one morning. Mr. Shoaf said, "Mr. Rohn, now that we've gotten acquainted, we know each other fairly well," he said, "maybe one of the best ways I can help you," he said, "let me see your current list of goals. Let's go over them and talk about them." And I said, "What?" "I don't have a list." He said, "Well, Mr. Rohn, if you don't have a list of your goals," he said, "I can guess your bank balance within a few $100s. Which he did. And that got my attention. I said, "You mean my bank balance would change if I had a list of goals?" He said, "Drastically." So that day I became a student of setting goals. And I've used it to dynamically affect my life. I've taught it to some of my business colleagues. We use it to do business around the world. Setting goals. It can turn out to be a drama for your life. Here's what goals are. Your vision of the future. Your vision of the future. Now, there's two ways to face the future. One, with apprehension. Number two, with anticipation. Guess how most people face the future? With apprehension. Why? Major reason why. They don't have it well designed. They've left the design of their future to somebody else. And if you don't make plans of your own, guess what? You'll probably fall into someone else's plans. Guess what someone else may have planned for you? Not much. Now, setting goals.
If you don't make plans of your own, you'll probably fall into somebody else's plans, and guess what they have planned for you? Not much. Smart stuff to get us started there by the icon of personal development, Jim Rohn. Hello, hey there, welcome in. I am Josh Ellis, the editor-in-chief of Success Magazine, back again for part 2 of this week's special live training series designed to help you create the success you want in life. It is so great to have you here with me. I really hope that you got the chance to watch yesterday's presentation all about the value of personal development. That is personal development, after all, the cornerstone of success. You know, we generally change ourselves for one of two reasons: inspiration or desperation. Whatever your circumstances, I have no doubt that today is the most important day of the rest of your life. This is the crucial time where you settle for what you have or grow to become more. So yesterday was all about how to incorporate personal development into your daily routine. And tomorrow I'll be back here, same time, same place. I'm gonna be talking about how to create a legacy. That is what we're all here for, right? A legacy can be anywhere on the continuum from very bad to very good. It all depends on how we choose to live our lives. I want to challenge you to take a look at how you live. I'm going to show you tomorrow how to think about the major areas of your life where you can and should leave a lasting legacy. But today is a crucial lesson as well, because all that personal development work that you're going to put in won't necessarily get you anywhere if you don't know where you're trying to go. And you may have a dream for your legacy, but without a roadmap to cement that legacy, it's going to be really hard to achieve. So today, I'm talking all about how to set the right goals for for you, the right goals for your dreams. I know this. Goal setting provides focus. It shapes our dreams. It gives us the ability to hone in on the exact actions we need to achieve everything we desire in life. So as the day goes on, with the help of the legend, the mentor to the masters, Jim Rohn, I'll be talking about the importance of goals and how to set goals that move your life forward. Goals that give you some insights that could help you achieve everything that you want. Let's set the scene now for the basis of these lessons. And if you missed yesterday, or you're not already familiar with Jim Rohn, I'll fill you in, catch you up to speed. This is a man who, although he passed away almost 10 years ago, continues to inspire and lead millions of people across the globe. He was a mentor to some of the most impactful speakers and authors in the world today, people like John Maxwell. He wrote bestsellers, spoke everywhere, all around the world, and achieved a life of massive significance. But it didn't start out that way. At age 25, he was, as he would say, a nobody, broke, unhappy. And then he came under the mentorship of a highly successful salesman in his own right, Mr. Earl Shoaff, who you have heard Jim mention in our intro. And Earl Shoaff taught Jim Rohn the lessons that made him such a success. The lessons he studied and shared and shared. The lessons I've studied and shared for that matter. So you can take it from me when I tell you that the wisdom you'll get out of today has the power to mean everything in your life. Goal setting is one of the most important steps you can make to attain success. I've heard that over and over from the cover figures of Success Magazine and the inspiring people I've interviewed over the years. So, to get us ready to fully understand the power of goal setting, let me send it back now to the great Jim Rohn to expand on what we've discussed in getting started today. You know, so many people believe that success is simply the result of good fortune. If enough positive developments happen in just the right order, they think, things will turn out all right. But that is not how things work. Here to explain is Jim Rohn.
If all of your negative relatives all turn positive, what'll that do for your future? Not much. If prices come down a little, what'll that do for your future? Not much. If the economy gets a little better, what'll that do for your future? Not much. If circumstances get a little better, what'll that do? Not much. If the weather gets a little better over the next few years, that'll do. Not much. I mean, you could go right down this whole scenario list. Most people all their lives, with their fingers crossed, count on this not much list. That's why 10 years from now, they'll be driving what they don't want to drive, living where they don't want to live, wearing what they don't want to wear, doing what they don't want to do, having what they don't want to have, maybe become what they didn't want to become. And it all starts by counting on something that's not going to count much. You say, well, then how can my life dramatically change? You got to count on yourself. And here's one of the things you got to count on: your ability to design the future. It's called the promise. And the promise of the future, if you'll design it well, can have an awesome effect on your life. But if you face the future with apprehension, you'll take hesitant steps all day, uncertain steps all day. And if you take uncertain steps all day for 6 years, you can imagine how empty your life can be. We've got to help our kids with the promise of the future. Now here's what's connected to the promise: the price. The price to pay. But I'm telling you, the price is easy if the promise is clear. One of the better notes to make for today. The price is easy if the promise is clear and powerful. But the price seems almost too much to pay. Too much to get over, too much to accomplish if the promise isn't clear, if the promise isn't powerful. I'm telling you, kids will pay the disciplines if they can see the promise. One of our biggest challenges as parents in the 90s is to help our kids see the promise of the future. That's why I'm teaching financial independence, how to become wealthy and powerful and sophisticated and healthy and unique. All of the stuff kids would hope to go for. It's all possible. This is America. That's the promise of the future. The price, a few simple disciplines practiced every day. And I'm telling you, the kids will pay the price of the simple disciplines if they can see the promise of the future. But if they can't see, they don't want to pay. And the same is true of all of us. We will pay the most extraordinary disciplines if we can see the promise of the future, called setting goals. So I'm asking you to get a handle on the future. I'm asking you not to leave it to anyone else. Don't leave it to the company. Company's got their own goals. I'm asking you to set your own goals, your personal goals. Income goals and financial goals and health goals and spiritual goals and where do you want to go and what do you want to do and what do you want to see and what do you want to be. That's it. Promise of the future. Design your own future. It's within your hands and your capacity to do so. Here's how simple now goal setting is. It's not mysterious. You don't have to anchor, you don't have to focus, you don't have to visualize, none of that stuff. Here's how simple goal setting is. Changed my life. Decide what you want and write it down. I mean, that's how profound this stuff is. Decide what you want and write it down. Make a list. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? What do you want to see? What do you want to be? What do you want to have? What do you want to share? What projects would you like to support? What would you like to be known for? What skills would you like to learn? Some extraordinary things you'd like to do, ordinary things you'd like to do, right? Silly little things you'd like to do, very important things you'd like to do. Decide on all that stuff and write it down, write it down, write it down. That's how simple this stuff is. And it's your own private list. If it's really private, on your list, put some stuff in code where nobody can understand it if this list fell into unfriendly hands. Okay. And simple things, whatever. Foolish things, doesn't matter. It's your list.
All right, welcome back. I hope that you caught Jim Rohn speaking to the parents in the audience there about the things to instill in children of the 1990s. It stuck out to me because I am a 90s kid. I was born in 1986, but the 90s, those were formative years for me. And I have to thank my parents for instilling in me so many of the strengths and the values that Jim is talking about right there. A lot of them I've learned as an adult too. A lot of them I learn more about every day. Education goes on, right? But one that I think I really have down is clarity. And that's a big topic that Jim was touching on just there. It is the backbone of goal setting. Set clear goals. Don't say, I want to be rich. Say, I want to have X amount in my savings account at age 40. I want to have a net worth of X by age 50, and so on. I'll tell you this. One of the most healthy practices that I have in my life is a gratitude practice. Just like anybody else, I have days that go by where I feel like I didn't do enough or have enough. Days when I feel like I'm not enough. But I really get myself centered when I look back on myself 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And I gotta say, it gives me gratitude that I'm not that person anymore. It's not that I'm not proud of the person that I was 5 or 10 years ago. It's that I know I'm better now. And I have gratitude for the things that happened to me along the way and the steps I took to become the better person I am today. And I'll tell you what else that gratitude exercise does for me. It gives me great confidence about the future. It helps me appreciate that I am a growing person. We all are. The best is still ahead of me. It makes me excited about the person I'm going to be and the life I'm going to have 10 years from now. So imagine with me for a moment the ideal version of yourself a decade from now. What does that person look like? What does that person weigh? What does that person talk and sound and act like? What is that person's mindset? What's in that person's bank account? It's okay to think about things like that. They aren't so vain. Yesterday, we discussed how personal development is really just about adding value to yourself. That's simple. It's almost a financial measure. So the person you will be 10 years from now, who has more in his or her bank account, that is, by definition, a more valuable person than you are today, because you have to be worth that to have that much in your account, right? That person that you're envisioning that you'd like to become, I'll bet that they are a little better looking, even though they're 10 years older. I'll bet they have perfect posture. Mine has perfect posture, I'll say that. And you know what, last week I went to my first ever rowing class because I really want to have that perfect posture. See, when you have that vision of what your goal is, you start finding ways sort of naturally to make it a reality. All you have to do is have the vision. And what did Jim say? He said, write it down. A lot of people just float through life day to day. But when you write your goals down, they become a project. And when they're a project, they have a starting point and an ending point and steps along the way. It all starts to connect. It becomes easier to achieve them. They literally become achievable. You see the path. And when you complete a project for work, isn't that exactly what you do? You identify the goals, the steps that are needed to be taken to reach them, and then you start checking the little boxes along the way. So your life and your health, your happiness, and your finances aren't any more complicated than that. Somebody might say, well, work is work. Why should living be work? It doesn't have to be. You can coast. You don't have to put effort into it. But what sort of results are you going to get in life without effort? In your career, you put in blood, sweat, and tears for every promotion and raise that you get, don't you? You want to do anything worthwhile, achieve any goal, it will take effort. So the process doesn't change just because the type of goal changes. If you want to build a great company, it takes blood, sweat, and tears. If you want to build a great marriage, it's not easy. You want six-pack abs and perfect posture? It's not easy. And nobody is going to do it for you. You've got to do it for yourself because you want it for yourself. So, how do you self-motivate? The best way I know how to tell you just what Jim was saying is to gain clarity on what it is you want and what the full result is going to be when you achieve your goal. We have people who follow success because they want to get rich. Okay, fine, fair enough. Say you want to make $10 million a year. Okay, fine, fair enough. Now imagine that you reach that goal. So what? What's so great about it now? The goal itself is and always will be sort of immaterial compared to what results from it. So imagine with more clarity now. When you make that $10 million a year, you're going to be able to send your kids to better schools. You're going to be able to eat better. You may have more free time for exercise. You're getting healthier now. You're going to buy this car. You're going to upgrade the counters in your house to these counters. My wife really loves that butcher block thing. I don't know what it is, but she says it's great. Maybe one day. Maybe you're going to be able to sell that old house and move into this other one down the street, the bigger one. You're going to be able to give back a bunch of this money to people in your community who now need it more than you do. Or maybe when you have that $10 million, you're going to invest it in a business that solves some major problem for people, for the rest of the world. You're going to feel fulfilled on this level and that level and X, Y, Z. See? Clarity. When you think through those things, now you have a lot fuller picture of what this is going to be like than you did when you were just saying, I want to be rich. Or even, I want to make 10 million. Every little point of this vision is a motivating factor. You've got to be able to almost taste it. Your imagination is so good. So write it all down and get to work. Once you do that, it actually does become quite simple. The simple things you've got to do to reach your incredible goals are really just a checklist. It'll be the checklist that defines your life, but it'll be pretty clear. Just a checklist, a simple checklist. I'll let Jim Rohn explain.
Keep your list with you. I keep my list in my journal so that I can go back. 5 years ago, here was my list, and I'm a little embarrassed. Here's what I thought was so important now. How my philosophy has changed. From 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago. Here's my old list. Here's my new list. Here's what's valuable to me now. Here's what I want my life to be now. Here's where I want to go, what I want to do, what I want to see. Keep your lists of goals so that it shows your growth, shows your ability to change and grow. Your philosophy grows and expands what's valuable. Setting goals. It doesn't matter how small, foolish it is. Put it on your list. My Japanese friend, Toro Ikeda, put on his first list, a Caucasian gardener. He wanted. Thought that was good. I like that. Have you got this profound thing now on setting goals? Here's how profound it is. Decide what you want and write it down. Get together with your wife, decide. Get together with your kids, decide. Get together with your business colleagues, decide. Write it down, make a list. Okay, that's how easy it is. Now let me give you one more scenario on setting goals. When I started making my first list, Mr. Shope said, Mr. Rohn, looks like we're going to be together for a while. He said, I've got a suggestion for you. He said, I think one of the first goals you ought to set, you're a 25-year-old American male, sure you've made some mistakes, but now you're on the road to better things. You got a family, worth it. Reasons makes the difference. And he said, you've got every reason to do this. He said, why don't you, among all the goals you're going to set, why don't you set a goal to become a millionaire? A millionaire. This is America. All the possibilities are available. Why don't you set a goal to become a millionaire? He said, it's got a nice ring to it. Millionaire. Enough zeros to impress your accountant? Millionaire. And he said, here's why. Now I thought, the man doesn't need to teach me why. I'm thinking, wouldn't it be great to have $1 million? He said, no, that's not it. Here's why. And I had one of the greatest lessons I ever learned, and I'm about to share it with you. This will be worth the price of being here today if you can capture what I'm about to share with you. Babysitter fees, whatever else you paid. Some of you missed some sales today to be here, so this is a costly day for you. But what I'm about to share with you changed my whole life. Here's what Mr. Shope said. Set a goal to become a millionaire. And he said, here's why. For what it will make of you to achieve it. And I got one of the greatest classes in one sentence I've ever received in my life. Set a goal that'll make you stretch that far. For what it will make of you to achieve it. What a brand new reason for setting goals. What an all-encompassing challenge to have a better vision of the future. What for? To see what it will make of you to achieve it. And here's why. The greatest value in life is not what you get. The greatest value in life is what you become. Major question to ask on the job is not, what am I getting here? That's not the major question. The major question to ask is, what am I becoming here? It's not what you get that makes you valuable, it's what you become that makes you valuable. So Shope said, set a goal to become a millionaire. For what it will make of you to achieve it. Then he said, when you finally have become a millionaire, now, he said, what's important is not the money. I thought, wow, I've got some more to learn. He said, no, Mr. Rohn, I'm telling you honestly, you could just give the money away. Now, I did better than that, right? I told you. I lost it all. I'm rich by the time I'm 31. I'm a millionaire. I'm broke by the time I'm 33. So I didn't have to give it all away. I lost it all. Foolish mistakes I made. I'm a farm boy from Idaho. That early money drove me bonkers. I used to say, how many colors does it come in? I'll buy them all. I went crazy over that first money. I just went crazy. And then I made that one foolish mistake, right? Continuing guarantee. I mean, I'm so naive off the farm. I don't know what continuing means. And a few other mistakes. And by the time I'm 33, I'm broke. Now, I've made and lost millions since then. But what an experience that was. And I'm telling you, the man was right. When I finally was broke at age 33, guess what I discovered? My money did not mean that much. It represented only a fraction of all my assets. Shoaff said, once you become a millionaire, Mr. Rohn, you could give all the money away. Because he says, what's important is not the money. What's important is the person you've become.
Okay, welcome back. Excellent stuff there, as always, from Jim Rohn. If you are enjoying these lessons, this wisdom from Jim, by the way, I want to make sure you keep checking your email over the next week or so, because there is going to be an opportunity in front of you. We are now halfway through 2019, almost, and I'm willing to bet for 9 out of 10 of you, your New Year's resolution is long ago a thing of the past. That doesn't mean that you have to sacrifice the rest of 2019, though. Success has put together a one-year plan to your greatest year by Jim Rohn, and we're going to be telling you all about it later on. You're going to have the chance to go much, much deeper on all of this stuff that Jim and I are talking about. Okay, so back to the topic at hand, which Jim was just discussing, the reason why it's so important to make a big goal. Because when you make a plan and set a goal, you are by definition setting the secondary goal to become the person who can achieve the first big goal. Now you have reason for optimism. Don't make it a goal to just hold on, to be that guy whose goal is to scrape up enough money to pay the bills. That's not a very good goal. Make a plan to be better, to have more, to be more. Get some clarity on just how great things are going to be when you get there, and you'll have more energy to put in the necessary work Monday through Friday, maybe a little on Saturday and Sunday too. You won't mind it because you're having fun reaching your goal that you have this great clarity of. And don't just make the goal the goal, make yourself the goal. Just like Earl Shoaff told Jim Rohn, you could make it a goal to make $1 million a year 5 years from now. Maybe that means starting a business that is going to do really well, and you understand how to work backward from that $1 million business, what you have to do to hire a great team, the sales that you're going to have to make, the business plan, the investors that you're going to have to line up, or maybe the loans from the bank, whatever. But that $1 million is just half of your goal. Let's say you work within a company and you say, all right, to get to $1 million a year, I've got to have 3 promotions. And here's what I could do to earn the first promotion. Here's the new business that I could bring into our company to get this second promotion or this raise. And I'm going to show that I'm deserving of this next promotion by doing this, X, Y, and Z, and so on. there it is. Look, I made my goal to rake in $1 million a year, but that's still just half of what your goal should be. Because you won't ever get to that goal, your $1 million a year in your company or the business you're going to start, unless you fulfill the other half, the silent half of your goal, which is to become a person who is worth $1 million. Now think about that person. Are you a $1 million person if you love Friday afternoon and hate Monday morning? Are you a $1 million person if you roll into the office 30 minutes late, leave 45 minutes early? Are you a $1 million person if you aren't elevating your game as a leader? And the answer is no. You know that. To make $1 million, you need talent, work ethic, and drive. You need to be someone who energizes others and improves everyone that you come across. The same is true if you have your own business or if you work within someone else's business. So make a plan to attain something, but also to grow into someone, the person you want to be. I was telling you about the vision I have of myself 10 years down the road with the great posture a little bit earlier. That's the goal, that person, not necessarily just the posture. That's the goal that I'm most proud of. It's the goal of who I want to be, the kind of person. I don't know how much money I'll make 10 years from now, but I know what kind of person I'm going to be. Because I know the values that I have and I'm building. I know my integrity. I know what my habits are going to be because I'm building them right now. I know what kind of work ethic I'm going to have and to be building on along the way. It's really the easier side of it to have your improved self as half of your big goal because yourself is more within your control. But remember, it is absolutely fundamental to worry about building yourself. Think about it all the time. Now, I want to get back to that list of goals, the one that you actually write down. Why is that so important? Because that list creates some accountability for you. And the person who is going to achieve those big, crazy goals, that list, is definitely more accountable once they're on paper. When you write your goals down, and another bonus tip here, share your goals with other people because that creates an extra accountability that makes you stick with your plan. But when you write them down, it makes it harder for you to abandon ship. The action of writing it down just reminds you constantly to be goal-oriented. Ignore the noise and the distractions and be singularly minded on attaining what it is that you know you were meant to attain. Writing them down also allows you to check your progress, and that is so important as well. It's not just about writing down one goal at the very end. It's about the checkpoints that you need to be hitting along the way. I mentioned that simple checklist. This is what I mean. If I'm going to be making $1 million 5 years from now in 2024, then I probably need to be making $500,000 by 2022. So there are these stepping stones, that sort of thing. It allows you to break that big goal down into little goals. You hit this little goal, and then you hit that little goal, that one, this one, that one. Checkpoints, mile markers along the way. It is a simple path to success. It really is. And to tell you more about it, one last time for today, here is Jim Rohn.
What a whole new concept on setting goals. Now, there's two parts to this, and then we're wrapping up goals. Here's the first part now in this goal setting for what you become. Number one, don't set your goals too low. Interesting, we teach in leadership. You'll find it on the cassettes. Don't join an easy crowd. You won't grow. Go where the expectations are high. Go where the demands are high. Go where the pressure's on to perform, to grow, to change, to develop, to read, to study, to develop skills. I belong to a small group. We do business around the world. You cannot believe the expectations at that level. What we expect of each other in terms of excellence, far beyond average. Why? So that we can each grow, so that we can receive from the group, we can contribute to the group. Something unprecedented. It's called living at the summit. Go where the demands are high. Go where the expectations are strong, so that it'll provoke you, push you, urgently insist that you not remain the same for the next couple of years, the next 5 years, that you'll grow and change. So don't set your goals too low. The guy says, well, I don't need much. Well, then you don't need to become much. Now, here's the last part on setting goals. Don't compromise. Don't sell out. There were some things I went for back in those early years that I paid too big a price for. If I'd have known how much it was going to cost me, I never would have paid, but I didn't know. So don't sell out. Ancient phrase says, count the cost, count the cost, count the cost. An ancient story says, Judas got the money. You say, well, that's a success story. No. It's true, 30 pieces of silver in those days was a sizable fortune. You say, well, if a guy's got a fortune, right, that's a success story. No, you don't understand. His name was Judas. Doesn't that ring a bell? Judas. You say, oh, yes, Judas, the traitor. That's right, the traitor got the money. Doesn't that change the story? And the answer is, of course, it changes the story.
Okay, here we are again. Jim was very serious on that point. Don't sell out. Don't compromise your values or the person, the people who mean the most to you to reach your goals, because then those goals, those achievements are empty and you won't be happy. I think that part ought to be pretty obvious to all of you. So let's get back to the original point that Jim made. Don't set your goals too low. Because what happens if you don't reach your goal? Well, whether it's low or high, I imagine that the pursuit of it anyway will lead to some positive results. I mean, I've said it before. If you decide you want to be making $1 million 5 years from now, and you write out all of the things that you have to do to get there, and you follow those steps, and you put in every piece of that work, you might fail. You might not make $1 million 5 years from now. But guess what? You might be making 10 million. Your results could exceed your expectations, but what if you do fail? What if you miss that goal completely and you fall short, but by virtue of taking all those steps, you're making only $679,000 a year? How terrible! That is why you set big goals, because even if you don't quite attain them, you've made more progress than if your goal was to just get by, or it was a tiny goal. See, know this, there is greatness in you. The pursuit of that greatness pulls it out. The pursuit of your greatness brings the best of you to the forefront. Life is not like poker. If you take a risk in poker, you try to bluff somebody, and you're holding a bad hand, well, yeah, you will lose everything. But in life, you don't hold a bad hand. You hold all of your knowledge and your experience and your heart and your dreams. And when you show that to the world by daring to become more, working toward a goal, it will pay off for you. The effort and the energy that you put out will be repaid. You might not double up, but you won't walk away empty-handed when you strive to achieve something more than you've already got, because you will become something more than you are already. What if you really got nothing out of all of this effort, though? Which will not be the case, as I've just said, but let's answer the question anyway. What if you got nothing out of this? What has it really cost you? A little free time that you would have handed right over to the good people at Netflix anyway? What do you have to lose? That makes the value of pushing for your goal really stand out, doesn't it? So make sure you have that perspective about your dreams. Your dreams are your future. There's nothing more important in the world. Okay, it is that time of the presentation where we get to do a little mix and mingle. Let's shift gears and interact with you guys a little bit. Thanks so much for watching. As I always say, this is a two-way conversation to help you achieve everything that you desire. So let me try and fill in some of the blanks. The staff has sent me your best questions, and I'll pull them up here. Just a moment. Let's see what came in. I know that we had some come in before the training started, and then we've seen some since then, so they just forwarded them over. This one is from Cami. Cami wants to know how to better prioritize her goals. Let's see. Prioritize her goals. Okay, well, she's saying that there's so much that she wants to do. She doesn't know where to start. Okay, Cami. I think to go back to what I was saying about clarity a little bit earlier, you need to get clarity on what you ultimately envision for yourself. So maybe your goals are to start a business, and also to get in shape and be a more attentive wife and mom and volunteer at your kids' school and be involved with a charity and to run for city council. That's a lot. We all have a lot of things we want to do, but having a lot of goals can cause the same paralysis of procrastination that stops anyone. So instead of thinking about all those goals individually, let's think instead about creating the person who's capable of juggling all of that. Think of the soft skills, the time management skills, the emotional intelligence, the practical knowledge that a person who can be involved with so many things has. And don't let those things compete for your attention, whatever it is you're prioritizing. I know you're not necessarily running for city council, but spend your attention working on yourself to become the person who can handle all that. And again, mentors like Earl Shoaff, people who can be your mentor, can help. They can deliver greater messages for you that you need to hear. As Jim Rohn used to say, don't wish it were easier, wish you were better. You can be better. You can work to improve yourself. You can get a lot of things done. So stay strong and don't give up. You've got everything ahead of you. Thank you very much, Cami. Here is another question. This one is from Laura. She says she's loving the live trainings. Thank you, Laura. We love you too. Appreciate you watching. Appreciate everybody watching. She also says, that I'm thrilled about being a part of and surrounding myself with like-minded, high-achieving individuals. Very cool. Okay, here's another one from Richard. Richard says, where can I find a mentor like Earl Shoaff to achieve my financial goals? Okay, let me say then, Richard, that I would look no further for a mentor than Jim Rohn. In yesterday's video, Jim Rohn referenced the things that we can learn from in personal development. Books and mentors, our own experiences, other people's experiences. But there's no law that says that you have to meet your mentor in person, or that what your mentor says has to have come from the year 2019. These videos of Jim Rohn that I've shown today are classics. They're every bit as relevant as they were when they were recorded. Jim's writing is the same way. So I think that he is a fine mentor. He's my mentor, even though I never got to meet him. Listening to Jim, you will learn some ways that you can find even more mentors. So Richard, I definitely hope that you'll be on the lookout for that email about our opportunity to learn more from Jim Rohn next week. And the same goes for any mentor in the past. You know, I mentioned that Jim suggests reading autobiographies. There are so many great people that you can learn from who have come before us and been through things just like what we're going through now. All right, last one of the day. This one will come from Micah. Micah wants to know where he can learn more from Jim Rohn. Well, I would suggest jimrohn.com. That's JIMROHN.com. The Success Team manages all of Jim's content. We cherry pick the very best. Really try to curate that site to bring you some of those timeless solutions that are sure to help you. There's also a Jim Rohn mailing list that you can sign up for. You will be the first to know about new opportunities and exciting things going on, lessons from Jim. So check that out. And Micah, also you too, please be on the lookout for that email next week about the chance to bring some more of Jim's most impactful plans into your life. It is the chance to make the next year your best year. The last 6 months of 2019, the first 6 months of 2020, get that year started right too. Wind down this one strong. That does it for today's live training. It's been fun. It's been insightful. It has been a pleasure for me. I'm back tomorrow, same place, same time. We'll tie it all together. I want to talk about the legacy that you can create for yourself. I'll see you then.